wow, this really is a beautiful place, and all the things are preserved as they were back in the day. I would love to do something here. Maybe I can bake this flatbread or something.
Nice.
And he's like, maybe you should just take over the cafe. And I was like, because that's also the amazing thing with living in Åre. It's abundance of things. I feel strange and different to the typical Swede.
Badass
of doing it. Yeah, badass, exactly. Badass edition, it says. So now I'm like full on badass.
Hey! Today we're chatting with Anna-Maria. All we know about her so far is that we met her actually at the local Åre Hembygdsgården, where she works with a lot of volunteers and lovely people around her. She's running the place together with her friend, and she's always creating new fun events between the chickens and the goats, and it's just a little piece of paradise. That's about it so far, so we'll be getting to know her together with you.
I was actually out walking. It was in the middle of the winter, a lot of snow. So I was walking with these big steps with snow up to my thighs, and seeing this farm, or I don't know really what it's called, a hembygdsgård in English, but like this old traditional historic houses.
Yeah, it's a bit like because I'm thinking for any listener who is not Swedish, how do you explain a hembygdsgården? But I would always see it a bit as the preservation of the old in the village. Like what was there, one of the first buildings, one of the first farms usually, how they preserved that and kind of keep it going. Is that true? Is it the way you could see it?
I resonate with that. And also it's a
lot of
it's a cultivation of how it has been.
Yeah.
But so throughout Sweden, every village has one of these things?
A lot of villages has one. But it's often people who are really engaged in keeping tradition and history. And then they often move houses to this place. To be like, okay, now we're going to pick like the berries from like how it has been in Sweden back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
And they move buildings to a place to create a community of how it has been.
Okay.
And also pick houses that have history and genuine work.
And if you would translate it with Hembygdsgården means
it's like a home village guard. Like gourd,
farm. I think house. Google Translate made it because your Instagram profile says Hembygdsgården on it, and by coincidence I saw that it was translated into hometown farm.
That is the translation, I guess. But
it's more than that.
It's more than that. Yeah. But I was walking there in the deep snow, and then I saw these beautiful buildings. And I come from my area. I come from Dalarna in Sweden, where it's a lot of these red houses that has a lot of tradition and history. So I could just sense it from distance that like, wow, this is a very beautiful buildings and a space I really felt connected to. So I was walking there and walking closer, and then I built myself a little thing I could stand up on in the snow, so I could look in the windows and be like, wow, this really is a beautiful place, and all the things are preserved as they were back in the days. And
you had no idea it was there, basically.
No, it was just because it is, even though it's quite central, it's still a little bit hidden.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been walking and driving past without seeing it.
Yeah.
But my curiosity just aligned with that direction. So I walked there and I saw it, and then I researched and I saw that, wow, it's not used that much. As a lot of hembygdsgårds in Sweden, they're not used so much because it's a mission, and it's also quite connected to a group of people, I would say, that is like the older generation that maybe doesn't have the drive to do more than just have it open a couple of weeks a year.
And the younger people are maybe a bit disconnected from Hembygdsgårdens in this time or something.
Yeah, we don't, like the mainstream, I would say, doesn't have this connection to the authentic way of how we have been living. And everything goes so fast now, so it feels like just the connection to objects and to how it has been is a little bit disrupted. So
I must say, when I feel that when I come to that area, Hembygdsgården, I always feel calming down instantly, almost without not even have to do anything, because it's such an open, cozy, calming down area itself. Like probably you felt the first time that you came there, sort of.
Yeah, and it's almost like you can sense how in what presence the things have been created.
Yeah.
So maybe the reason why I feel more calm is because it's done like from the ground in a more slower way, and it's made just this house there's only one house of this. It's not this like as it can be in modern world.
Yeah,
a lot
let's
of
just make more and more and more.
Like fabric, like just made one after one without this original like.
Always reminds me of
little boxes on the hillside.
Have you seen Weeds, the TV show? And there's the theme song of the TV show is called Little Boxes on the Hillside. Little boxes, and they all look just the same. So they're houses and they look identical. So it definitely came up in my mind as soon as you started talking about this.
But it's something, and I really after been being in Hembygdsgården, I also feel that I've learned so much more about the history of Sweden and been like valuing these processes that was more common back in the days, like creating your own tools or the things you need in your home and doing things from the ground, taking care of the ground, the soil, the earth, and being a part of the whole chain, all the way from the seed to the end
product.
That's a beautiful thing to experience for sure. I remember that we worked on a farm in the south of Portugal for 3 months, and it was a permaculture farm, and I kind of got back into learning how a seed becomes something that we get on our plate, right? And it's such a simple thing, and we walk through the supermarket every day and it's just all there, and it's so simple and easy, and then suddenly you see how much work it costs to get the right temperature and the rain and the time and the amount of people. We were all these backpackers there helping out, and it was 8 people, I think, that were working there, and still we only had enough for the whole farm to have food to eat. Like we didn't even have that much extra.
No.
So just see how much work it costs, and but it's a labor of love. And to be so grateful that you can eat what you created.
Because you can literally see the food grow, which is quite cool as well. It's the food that you put in the ground, and if you're there over a period of time, you actually see everything come up, and then you can actually eat it and make beautiful dinners out of it. That was a really good time period in our life, I think. I still remember that.
And now I think Hembygdsgården is only 800 meters walking from where we're sitting now, from the studio. And I remember us walking there in the first year we lived here 3 years ago. And we walked into the field, and I remember there were chickens around, and it was quite a warm day, and we're sitting outside on the terrace, and it was with the previous owner still. But the fun part of that was the discovery. It's like you say, it is hidden, but then it also gives you a chance to find it. And then you feel like you unlocked a new little mystery in town. So that was
really cool. I didn't expect that at all. And it's also kind of like a hideaway or a getaway from the rest, I guess, around that happens around here.
Feels very important with that, especially in a town like this.
And so you found out about this place, and then you started calling your friends or people that you wanted to do, or what was the next?
No, it was more. I called the previous owners and I was like, it would be super nice to just, because I'm like that. I have an idea, and I used to call someone or do something straight away about it. I've asked this, like I haven't thought about this before. I just go in and see what happens. So I just called them and said that, wow, this is I really feel connected to this place. I would love to do something here. Maybe I can bake this flatbread or something. Nice. And he's like, or maybe it sounds like you have a lot of energy and feel like power for this. Maybe you should just take over the cafe. And I was like, yeah, why not?
Okay.
So I booked a meeting with him. And at the same day, my friend Ida, she was out hitchhiking and ended up here in Åre. And I was like, yeah, so nice you're here. And we went out ice skating. And then I was looking at the watch and I was like, whoa, I gotta go to this meeting. I don't have time to drop you off before. Do you want to follow? So she followed to the meeting. And then we both got really engaged and felt like, whoa, maybe we should just do this together.
Wow. Yeah.
And he also felt that, well, this looks like a good duo.
Nice.
And then, yeah, that was the start.
So that's 2 years ago, you said, and it was winter.
That was like 2.5 years ago.
Because it's in winter, it's quite a tricky place to even get something going, right? Or...
Yeah, I've been building muscles, shoveling that way into the farm.
Okay.
But that's also like I'm feeling so grateful that I have this trust in the process, and also I would really like to motivate people to do things with people they love, just like you guys do.
Yeah.
My dad has always told me, like, you should never go into business with like your partner or your friends. And I've had that in my back head, and I haven't really reflected on why. But now I'm like, wow, that's the ones you're gonna go into business with. As long as you have this holistic and open business thing. Because like I feel that it's been I've been growing so much doing things with someone I really love in the start, and have this trust in that we're gonna create this, and we
maybe conquer like all challenges that come along.
And it's like so much easier if you know someone and have the like a soul connection to that person in the start.
It will never be easy though.
No.
And that's maybe a bit what your dad then comes from, that working together is very challenging still for us. Like we still had an argument yesterday about this podcast and trying to find a way to work together, and now we always get through it because we found our ways to deal with each other.
Yeah, to communicate.
But communication. And if you can't do that and you then break that relationship because it's been too hard. But on the other hand, if you do get through the hardships together, that foundation becomes even stronger. So you will,
Exactly. And I guess it has to do with, I don't know if that it's a generation thing, but if it's something that's tough, then you just like push that away instead of talking about the conflict, or like communicating or having tools to work it out.
Could definitely be a generational thing as well,
it's like now we just go for it. But me and Ida have really tried to apply this openness and the communication. And like, for example, every morning when we meet, we sit down and have first like a sharing from the belly, from the heart, and from the head, because it all says different things. For me, at least, it's very obvious that my head says one thing, but my heart says something else sometimes. And then we like have this space where, okay, is it something that is unsaid that we have to talk about? And then after that, we go into what have to be done today.
Yeah.
And that really has helped us.
You were talking about your dad, and I was wondering, how did you grew up in Dalarna? Do you have like sisters? Did you?
Yeah.
Was it a nice upbringing? Was it?
Yeah, I lived in this amazing village called Vika. And I've had the most playful and curious time there when I was a kid. And I started to do projects like when I was 11.
So you do have the entrepreneurship in you, kind of, or
I've always loved this town, and I love the rural areas of Sweden. And I thought it has gotten too little like resources and appreciation, because the rural areas are so beautiful, and it's close to nature, and it's so open, and people help out and help each other. So when I grew up there, I saw all these possibilities. I was like, this is the best place to be to live in. But a lot of people didn't think like that. They're like, oh, you live there so far away from the town, and like you have nothing to do there. And that my like drive created my drive to be like, I'm gonna show them this is the sickest place. So me and my Ida and Jonna, my best friends, another Ida, we started a lot of projects.
What was the first thing you did? Can you remember when you were 11?
The first thing was that we were doing jewelries and just selling. Mm-hmm. But the thing that we did for a longer time, that was like kids camp, and we were kids as well, but we had kids camp for people in our age,
cool, really?
And inviting people too. And we rented this big, like a hembygdsgård. We rented this and they filled it up with kids and teenagers and just went out on adventures every day. And we cooked food together. And we were like, today we're going to go out in the forest and look for like old mines that we can like throw stone in. And today we're going to do arts and crafts with all the things we can find in the forest. So we did that for like a couple of years and invited people from like the cities and also from our areas.
How big did that get, or how many people?
How big was the village to start with?
Yeah, it was like 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
In the village. Yeah. But we had it like a couple of years, every summer and every autumn, and it was always full. It was like maybe 30 kids at a time. We couldn't take more, but
okay, nice.
And it was always, the price was just enough so we could like do another year.
And people came back, or were they?
And like it was a really popular thing.
Nice.
And we loved it.
Inspiring, yeah, very cool.
We know a bit about Dalarna, but where is Vika situated?
It's close to Falun.
Close to Falun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have some friends in Furudal, but that's a bit
a little bit more north. Yeah.
We don't know that much about Sweden. But
no, but there's
but Dalarna is really nice.
It is really nice,
beautiful area. And it really has this connection to all. It feels like Dalarna is the heart of Sweden. Like that's where the Dala horse comes from. Like the red houses. If you would see a picture of what you say is Sweden, then you describe Dalarna.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I would say
that's a good way to.
It's also it's a bit curvy, it's a bit flowy. Yeah. It's not flat, and there's the trees and some other like lakes.
And then you said you studied, but I assume you had to leave the rural to do that. Or?
Yeah, I did. Even though I loved it, I left it, but it's still in my heart.
And where did you go then?
I studied on Gotland.
Gotland, okay.
Yeah, and in Lund.
Nice.
So, but also on distance, so I could like move around.
So you stayed in Vika then, or no? You moved away from?
Yeah, I moved away from there, and I traveled and I studied and
in Sweden.
Yeah, or I traveled around in the world
after your studies then, or did you
also throughout
your studies?
I could study like 2 years from my computer.
Oh,
so I could do it wherever I
Computers
wanted.
are so handy.
Yeah, in it. Wow.
Yeah. And then, what was the moment you decided to move here in that story?
I think it was after Lund, like being down. Have you been in Lund? Or like it's very close to Malmö, the most southern.
Okay, yeah.
We went through city. With the train, but we haven't visited.
It's very flat.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It's so beautiful. But like the mountains are so important for me, like with the depths in it and the adventure that the mountains creates. So I felt I really wanted to go to the mountains. And I had been here before, visiting people and so on. And then it was in that time we created a collective, like a lot of people living together, people that hadn't been in the mountains because it's quite expensive to go here and hard to find a place to live.
Yeah.
And it's also quite like monoculture of the people who are here, or like not all of them are the same, but it's a type of people that
it attracts a certain niche.
So we really wanted more people that were like curious about snow and snow sports and adventure in the mountains to come here. So we created this shared home.
Okay, cool.
Where we invited people.
How many years ago is this?
This was like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So you created a shared home. You said everybody's welcome.
Yeah, and like especially people that hadn't been in the mountains and people maybe didn't afford to go here. And we had a lot of skis and snowboards that we could like borrow out for free.
Nice.
And then just let people come here and wanted more people to move up here, more of the conscious community.
And is that Swedish people or from all over?
It was mostly Swedish people, but also we had some people from New Zealand and some from Spain and France and Denmark.
Are they still here? Or did they...
Some of them are still here actually, and some are coming back.
Oh, nice.
So they liked it. It worked.
They loved it.
Did it have a name?
Yeah, Granbo.
Okay, cool.
And we're the ones
something?
who created also the sauna.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we like
That's funny.
We try to like recycle as much as possible in the house.
I'm lost now. Which
I
sauna?
just got invited into the sauna group because of Emil Busson. I don't know. Yeah. He was talking about this in Coffee Club, and I didn't know that you guys started.
Yeah.
It's the sauna you were talking to me about. That's along the way somewhere.
On the way
in Tegeforsen, that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Close to there. Yeah.
So this collective built it and everything is from recycled material.
Uh-huh.
So we were really hustlers in like finding things that other people throw out. Because that's also the amazing thing with living in Åre. It's abundance of things. People have so much amazing things and maybe doesn't see the value in the small parts that they just throw away, for example. So we took it and built a sauna.
Nice.
So now
you still go there sometime?
Yeah, we were there actually yesterday rebuilding it, or like created like a roof and a little trall, like a little walking
Nice. If you ever need any help building, I would like to help.
Nice, thank you.
I like that kind
I
of
want to test the sauna.
And
it's
I'll definitely test it too.
It's amazing.
Yeah, sounds so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we should have a sauna. Yeah, now you're invited to the group.
Nice.
So I'm sauna.
And you still live in that same community?
No. That's not alive right now.
Okay.
The people live in different spots.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a good starting point for people.
Yeah, exactly.
To go from.
Do you live now with other people or by yourself? Or?
Right now, it's something in between. Like I've been living with my partner, and now I don't really know. I'm open for. I really want to live in Duved. I think Duved is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna find something in Duved.
Okay.
For those people who don't know what Duved is, I think we have Åre, and then we have Duved a little bit to the west, direction Norway. And there is, 7 kilometers between?
Yeah.
And Duved is a bit the place where houses are a bit more affordable. There's a really nice school. Our kids are in school there as well. And it's a bit upcoming village.
It's a bit more rural, as you would say as well.
Yeah, for families, it's perfect.
And it's more family orientated at this point. So
it feels like that's where the people who live here all year round live there, while Åre is more touristy.
Yeah, for sure. But it's still in the ski resort, so it's a perfect place to live. And we are actually now in between both, like
exactly
in the middle of it, like Hembygdsgården is more or less.
Yeah.
So I was wondering. So you were talking about your travels. Is there anything there that was important in, turning you into you are right now? Like some experiences or countries that you visited?
Yeah, good question. Every step I take is a way, like I'm exploring things by every step, and I'm changing all the time after the people I'm around, the places I'm around. So
but are things that stand out that maybe you remember that you say like, wow, that was something important? Or
like being in India and Nepal has been really blissful and like eye-opening.
You've been there solo or with friends? Or?
I was actually with Ida, the one I've had a Hembygdsgård with. So no, it's just I felt sometimes in this world I don't feel that. Wow, is this really my world? Like I feel strange and different to the typical Swede. But when I was in Nepal and India, I was like, whoa, these are my guys.
Mm-hmm.
I communicate in the same way, and I have the same like way of being. Like you sit on the street and eat, and you talk to everyone, and you like.
Nice.
It's a bit more chill in a way, and it's also very like open and family love vibe.
Orientated.
Yeah. So yeah, I that was a cool
Did you stay long,
travel.
or was it a short?
That was like half year, 6 months.
And do you have the feeling or intention to going back, or is that something you miss now, or you're trying to recreate what you had there? More here. Or?
That's the thing with the outer travels. They're amazing, but you can travel so much on the inside and within yourself without having to move around so much. But it would be amazing that I get kids, to bring the kids there and to open up that world and give that perspective of life to them. Because I think that really would be a gift.
Yeah.
I think it's a gift for everyone to explore new parts of the world, but especially for me, India and Nepal, because it's very different, and you become very thankful for everything you have, and they're like just like everything. Okay, it's okay. We will solve everything. Like the bus broke down and in the middle of nowhere, and people were like, "Okay, this is how it is. We solved this." And some people just went out, took their like bags, and just slept next to the road and be like, "I sleep here until it's done." And some people just start to like climb under the car or the bus and like start to fix, and no one ever said like, "Oh, I have a meeting to go to, or I have to be there in this time." You just accept that this world, we do it together. Yeah. We're one organism, and of course, like this can happen, shit can happen, and it will go quicker if we help out.
Yeah,
and that's just such a beautiful mentality.
Yeah, we just spoke about maybe driving to Africa. For like a long road trip at some point. Also with our kids, we have 2 young kids.
Yeah.
5 and 9 now. So that would be, like you say, probably a really nice experience for them too.
But our kids grew up on the road.
But they grew up on the road, but now they're a bit older, so they might even pick.
Yeah, we need to bring it back in their life.
What a gift that you guys did that. And I can really see that in your kids. They're so curious and open and like good at sensing other people. Being like, okay.
I think, for us it's been an experiment, of course. We thought it was a good idea and we went for it. We followed our heart on that one, and it turned out pretty okay, luckily. But
but I do see that too, especially in Fenna. And then obviously Siki is our youngest. He picks up a lot from her, but she's quite open, and she has got so much experience already with different people, because we had a hostel on wheels at some point. So we invited, they paid for it, but they came onto our bus and they were from all over the world. We even at some point had 4 Indians or 5 Indians? They rented the whole bus. So but they even cooked a night for us, and they explained about their culture and everything.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's hard to not have that affect your kids. Like you say, you probably, they experience it in
but also
a little way.
She said, like the thing that there's a solution for everything. I think that's what Fenna especially learned the most, and Ziggy, I guess, as well, on the road, is that our bus, speaking of buses, but our bus broke down a lot. And in that moment of stress, having 6 guests on board, we still had to figure out a way to fix it. So, and instead of getting stressed, it was like, okay, what can we do? How can we solve this? Who can help? Just lay underneath it and try to find a solution. And every time again, in the end, she saw us fix it. Every problem was solvable.
Yeah, and we still do that now. If she comes with an issue, like we emphasize the fact that you should think in solutions, not in the problem. Well, the problem is the cause, but you think about how can you make it better, and not think like, there's a problem, I can't do anything about it.
But back to Henry's garden, Gordon, I guess I have to say, Henry's garden. What does a day look like for you?
Yeah.
at work?
So I pick a day in the middle of the summer. On the way there, I take a dip in Ullon. Beautiful stream that's going just next to the Hembygdsgården. And then I come to the house, and everyone who's there, so it's me, Ida, always, and then we've had a couple of volunteers. We eat for breakfast together, and then we have this sharing. So sharing from yourself first, like what's up today? Is it something anyone else needs to know? Should I be aware of something? And just how you feel. Which we think is so important to check in with yourself and with the soul, because we're just humans that work together, and if you feel that you're listened to and get to share and be open, then everything that's gonna come against us is gonna be easier, because we can work from authenticity. Yep, exactly. And then we go through what's gonna be done throughout the day. So we have animals, goats and chickens. So they also they're number one. So we look like, what do they need, and how can we make that work as good as possible. And then we've had the cafe open throughout the day. So some people are doing the cafe, baking and cooking and serving, and some people are doing work with the farm. So with animals and with the garden and just fixing things. And that has been the base, but there's always been a lot of projects around it. So every week we have yoga and sometimes cinema and some gatherings, and maybe we have been renting out one of the barns. So there's always things with that has to be done.
So you're never bored?
Never bored. So much fun things happening. And also we try to, when we look at everything that has to be done, and we divide all the projects, we try to just go after what feels fun. What do you feel curious about?
Yeah.
Because I really feel that, and I know that will be you'll do a better job.
Definitely.
When
Good
you
idea.
do it from joy and curiosity. And some things aren't so fun, like cleaning the chicken house, but also then try to practice on the awareness in it, and being like, I do this as a service for you, and I really want you, chicken, to be to have a clean house and feel happy. So I feel happy that you feel happy, and try to always backtrack that. And that has worked really good, because people go there and they get to share what they really like to do, and we give them a project or a task that is connected to that. Yeah.
Do you have many volunteers? Sometimes 10 people? Or what are you talking about?
So we've had quite a lot throughout the whole summer. Yeah. But the most we've been maybe the most 7 people at the same time. Okay.
And you're then the manager, or you do it together with Ida, I guess?
Yeah, I've been more taking care of the people and volunteers and the projects, and she's she have other roles in it. Yeah. But I really liked that as well. I liked the experiment of having a lot of people there and seeing how the dynamic works, and how you can make people feel that what they do is also theirs. I really want that the farm should be a collective thing.
Yeah.
Everyone should feel like, I'm doing this because it's also parts of it are mine, and we do it together.
This episode is sponsored by Avi. Avi is a local brand that produces the most fun printed underlayers. This winter, they're actually coming with a new kind of fabric, which is merino. And we personally love merino. It is so nice for when you go on big adventures because you can wear your clothes for multiple days. They don't start to smell fast. You can just air them outside and they will be fresh as new in the morning. The really cool thing about this is that merino has been around for a while, but I've never seen a merino t-shirt like this with a leopard print on it, which is personally my favorite print from their brand. They are a family-owned independent company from here in Åre. And they just bring some happiness to the mountain or to wherever you are with their fun prints. I have very good news for you because if you subscribe, you have a chance to win an amazing AV outfit of your choice. It can be, for example, this merino pair of pants with leopard and a merino t-shirt and a beanie. But you can choose your own top and bottom and beanie. So go and subscribe and the winner will be announced on Instagram at the end of the week.
One thing I've been thinking about is like the inner authority versus the inner apology. That in the start of the summer, I was more like apologizing to people when I gave them tasks that I thought wasn't super fun.
Yeah.
And that is never a good way of doing it. Because then you're like, you don't even know what other people will think about this task. And if you're like starting to apologizing before even giving it to them, they're also going to feel that and not be as motivated and maybe don't listen to you. So instead of being like apologizing, like, oh, I know it's like not, maybe you don't have to do it now, but it would be nice one of the days to do the house for the chickens. Instead of being like, okay, I have a great task. It's super important and the chickens love it. We have to clean the chicken house.
For sure.
And like being just taking that role and being like, because I really feel everything I do is important and has a value to it. So just take that role as the authority, but a humble and aware authority. And throughout the summer, I'm getting better at that and like standing up for what I believe.
And did that impact the people you worked with
full
as
on.
well? Yeah,
because then the things are being done because they see that it's important and they see that I give it all my give it attention, and I can also talk about why I think it's important. Otherwise, if I'm already a little bit like don't know, you maybe don't have to do it, or then the other person is not gonna take it as serious either.
And did the group get closer because of that, or like the community itself, or did that change a bit?
I would say that the individuals got more motivated to do it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, then it's up to them to be unsure about something instead of me being unsure before I've even given the task.
Yeah. Nice.
It's funny how life can be an experiment.
Yeah.
In that sense, just play with different
tactics. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like basically everything we do, we just try and experience and see where it leads to. It's kind of like you were saying earlier. You just follow your guts basically and just go for something and then see where it leads you to.
Yeah.
So in that sense, life is one big experiment, I guess.
What excites you the most about, like, when you wake up in the morning and you have a day ahead in the summer? Like, what is the thing that excites you the most when you wake up?
I really love to work with people and co-create.
Nice.
I think it's so beautiful and magic what we can create together. Things that I would never have been thinking about and things that I don't know how to do. Then suddenly someone pops up and be like, have a lot of knowledge or skill or ambition to do something. And I just get to be a part of that journey.
Yeah.
And that's, so the magic in a lot of different people coming and being open to share what they feel for and what their inspiration
is. It's the people that bring the magic.
Yeah, so the people, and to also have this beauty around, because I really feel that beauty is another sense of the humans. We can't really tell why we think something is beautiful and why we are dragged to something, but beauty has a big pull. a pull in people, and like to live and to work in such a beautiful place is just it's just flowering, and it's beautiful for the soul. That's also something I long for.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we were making our bus, which we turned into that hostel, we also invited people from all over the world, like through Workaway, and there were many people that actually made the whole project a lot better because of their skill or their input, and then things that I would never have thought about, like simple things. Like I remember Vidar was a Norwegian guy, and he found that corners should be round; they should never be pointy, because in a bus it's very easy to hit it, for example. I never thought of it, but also it kind of relates to the beauty thing, because it makes everything more smooth. And then we decided to do the whole kitchen also with rounded, like everything more rounded, and it became a lot more nicer and stuff. Like
something that maybe you wouldn't think about in the first place, and then it's like. No.
And he created this technique that he could like plywood a couple of millimeters thin. He put it over steam, like literally boiled some water, which made it able to bend it without breaking it. So that's how we created these beautiful curves around. I still remember that. It was super cool to see. Yeah. But again, something I would never have thought of myself. So that's like you were saying, people influencing you so much.
So cool. And being open to, as a leader, being open to that other people can lead as well. I'm here, and I'm here to support you, but I see that you have a big passion in doing this. Would you like to take the lead and do this? And I would love to learn. I think that's an important way of being a leader. Being open
but it's
to
also
other.
Beautiful that you can do that, because letting go and letting go of your control over situation is not an easy one. I think a lot of people have trouble doing that. Me myself can be. I can find it hard sometimes to give away control over something, especially when I think I know how to do it better. And I think Tim told me that a bit as well, that I don't always know how to do it better. I might think I do, but then by giving the other person a chance to give it a go, I might actually see another way that might even be just as good or better than mine.
Yeah, and I'm still learning as well through my life. It's something, I don't think it's easy, but it's an important lesson to learn, that you can actually look at another person and see that their values might even be better than your value, or their view on things can be at least as good or different, and that it's all okay, and it just contributes to the whole thing instead of making it less or something. So
and as I think you said before, that it's life is an experiment, and the only thing we know about life is that we're gonna die. So why not just try to learn as much as possible and see it as a gift, and this experiment, like what will happen if I do this, and if I include this, or if I being open to that feels like a value that we've had very close on Hembygdsgården, to the experiment of life. And that includes difficulties, because we also work with like we rent it from we don't own it, so we rent it. That's the thing, where we all have different perspectives of things, and then it's so important to try to communicate your perspectives of it, because it can be quite triggering for people that aren't open to that perspective of life, that it's an experience. That can be very triggering, and I see that, so I try to be humble with it.
Is the project, can it continue? Are you having a rent for a couple of years now, or do you have to every year negotiate?
So right now it's closed. And I really hope we can open again.
Okay, but it's not sure yet.
It's not sure, because that's the thing also with the perspectives. We have different perspectives of things, and on this festival that we had now, the Conscious and the Sober festival that we had a week ago, we had a bonfire on the grass, and it created a bit of a black part on the grass, and that is something that we didn't think we didn't think further than our thoughts, and it went quite quick. And we thought that maybe the grass will grow up.
Yeah,
that's cool. But the people we rented from, they thought that was we stepped over the
border. Or the line.
they're like their rules. So we will see if the grass will grow, and then we will hopefully get to have another season. But maybe that burn mark will be a burn mark for the end stamp of us as well.
That would be too bad. So I guess it's normal that we make mistakes in life. And we said if...
Yeah, and also it's so interesting with what we value and how we see what is the importance for us. It maybe was that we could all 100 people could gather around the bonfire in a sober space. That I think is so important that we create here in Åre, because it's a lot of alcohol involved with being together. And maybe that's more important, that we can gather and we can listen to each other from the people we really are, and not what we think we have to be.
Yeah.
That's more important than if it becomes a burn mark in the ground.
Yeah.
But that's also just me.
It's priorities as point of view. It's like everything in life is a point of view. It's where you look at from.
We've come across that so many times with our bus as well. Just we thinking that, about something that we think is a priority, and that we would be so surprised that people could be so annoyed by something small that we thought that didn't matter at all. Like that would be so not important to us, but then to them it would be super important. And just priorities in life that are different with people. It's never easy, but everybody has a reason to be who they are and where they are at that moment in life.
That's also one of the biggest lessons in life, is to learn how to look from another perspective before even you do, or when you're doing something on another property or with somebody else. It's a hard thing to do, but it's quite important, and I think a lot of people would benefit from that as well, to be able to do that. So you have to always be on the other side of things, but at least we have possibility to switch and to feel like this might feel for them that way.
But in the winter, you're definitely not going open this year.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Last year we opened in February, so we had a gap for space for other things, and then we opened in February, and that was amazing. People were taking their cross country skis there, and we always had the fire
inside, and
and it was really cozy, super nice. So hopefully we'll do that again.
What did you do in the months that were off? Just holiday or?
Travel somewhere, go and meet family, go a bit more inwards as well. It feels like I'm quite easy to go into my just doing things and being productive. And then emotions and inner work can be put aside. So now when the autumn comes, then I want to acknowledge that and give space to the inner journey.
Yeah.
And not to be so productive all the time, because I'm good at being productive. And that's also very okay in this society. It's very, if someone says, oh, I'm working so much and I'm doing so much things, that's very okay from a society perspective, because that's good, because then you produce something and you do actual work. So it's sort of sometimes I can feel that people are almost proud of saying I'm working too much. But working too much on yourself is not as as accepted to say, and maybe not in the society as
right now it's more about keep going and be busy.
But I feel it has changed over the years, right? It's definitely become a topic to be more aware of your
mental health, physical health. It's a big topic at the moment.
I love that.
I think it's really important as well. And where do you stand in that? So like you said, you take time for yourself, for your mental health. Is there a way you look at life, some things that are really important to you for physical and mental health, to make the best version of yourself, or?
Yeah,
You said like you jump into the water, for example. I thought that was an
Yeah.
interesting one. You probably do that consciously as well.
Yeah. No, I'm a student and I'm a teacher every day in this, learning new ways of being aware and being have a healthy environment on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, cold dips, amazing, so good in so many ways, and easy here in Åre. And like almost everyone can just have a run or have a bike to a place where you can have a cold swim. So that's amazing. And I practice yoga and in all the ways. I practice yoga in life. Like yoga is not just on the mat; it's in general. And I try to.
What do you mean by that?
That yoga is like a philosophy, a way of living life, and it's not about the asanas, the way you like perform and how you move.
And so, what is the philosophy? Or can you, I don't know, explain it in a short way or something?
It's about like being humble to this experience and detach yourself from the self. And when you detach yourself from the self, which is really hard, and I'm working on it, but it's the ego is always there. Then you can like appreciate maybe your soul and not attach it to the body you have, and get rid of a lot of baggages that your upbringing or the society has put on you. But I would just say be like, as Buddha was talking about, compassion and wisdom, to live after that. Do something you're compassionate about and like see life with compassion, but have the wisdom with you, because the wisdom is not just knowledge about so how much you know, but the wisdom is also what you know, but with the heart included. Like, and the wisdom you know from previous lives, and something about that. But it's I'm also practicing in that. What is yoga life?
Okay.
But being
is there
aware.
Anything else you do, like besides yoga, or?
What is it called? Svagheter, like not the strengths, but the weaknesses. I try to work on the weaknesses and not on the strengths.
What's svagheter?
Svagheter, exactly.
Svagheter.
Weaknesses.
Okay, weaknesses. Another word for our list.
Yeah. I've had a really easy time to work on my strengths, because that's things I already know I'm good at.
Yeah.
But try to work on the things that I want to develop in. So nice. Try to do that consciously. And I have a lot of fun. I do things that feels beautiful for the soul and the body. I'm a lot out in the nature, cook food, I hang out, I dance, I sing.
By yourself or with others?
Both. I dance on my own home to music, or out in the field with other people, and I sing. And I've now started to do singing circles where we sit around a fire and sing. Like old visor and traditional folk songs.
Oh wow!
Swedish,
and, Swedish and also like Sanskrit ones, so like mantras. More.
That was in Hembygdsgården, I guess.
Yeah, we've done it there, and this Wednesday we're gonna do it in Kall.
Okay.
So I really like that, and it's something with the vibrating together. That's you can really tone into each other and see. I had one volunteer at Hembygdsgården this summer, and he was just randomly coming here. He was just driving and didn't know where he was driving, and then he like had a vision. I'm gonna go to the mountains, and then when he went there, he saw our signs and driving in. And then he ended up there, and he's like, I don't know how I got here, but I'm here. And we're like, perfect, then you're the one. Come and work with us. So he was there for a couple of weeks. and he was a doctor, if that's what I say, within doctor you say in Swedish, but yeah, within like the vibration and toning together. So he was going to big companies, and then they like everyone got to close their eyes and just do a tone and see how it did resonate together. So if it sounds like, if they could sound in a group, or if they could like sense each other and like, okay, now we're going on this vibration, or if someone just went doing a solo, or you could it was so interesting because you could, I can imagine that you can see quite quickly what stage the group is in with just toning together. So we were doing that with him.
He does this for big businesses. What you say? Okay.
And also really brave for people to close their eyes and just sound together and listen, because it's all about to sing. It's about to listen.
Yeah.
So funny, we had a TV show in Belgium now. There's a famous TV maker, and he showed that there is now a like folk singing, like you were saying, more or less, but actually with a leader on stage. So you go to like a concert hall almost, and there's like hundreds of people, and they just sing together, like famous songs, pop songs.
But like karaoke.
But like karaoke, but all together. But you saw him after that 2-hour session, and he was so like
happy
in the sky. I was super happy about the experience.
Yeah, even if you.
So it's kind of similar, I guess. So just,
often we think we have to be able to sing sing. Yeah. And, they were singing, their voices went all over the place, but it wasn't about that. It was just about that feeling of singing together. But also it makes me think of if you go to a live concert, for example, it always has a magic that you'll never get by just listening to music. Like listening to music is beautiful, but being together in a room and listening to one artist that really
especially if
resonates,
the public knows the song and everybody sings together. I guess,
and the power of that is beautiful.
Probably a lot of people have just experienced that. Yeah. That like when there's a song everyone knows and everyone starts to sing together, then that's the highlight of the concert.
But it's kind of vibration, probably you were talking about. It's the same.
And exactly. You feel it from inwards as it becomes when you're singing. It's like vibrating on the inside.
I've seen it on the Swedish people here in Broken in the bar when a song of ABBA happens.
Yeah.
The whole crowd goes crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So more communal singing together, or toning.
So you lived in different places around here, or just in one spot? Or
different places.
You have like a neighborhood that feels better, or does each one feel as good as?
All of them feel really good. But as I said before, I like Duved.
Duved is a place. Yeah, it's cute. And it's the people that live there, or is it?
Yeah, and it feels like people, and also that it's a nice small town that you can walk to everything, and you have. I really love Mullfjället as well. Yeah, and that's my favorite nearby mountain. It feels like my backyard, and
a bit more rural. I guess, if you wanna.
Yeah, and it's so like I've been walking up there so many times, and I can just take a track, or like I not so often go on the path, but I just go out in the forest. And then I can go up like 10 meters away from where I walked last time, and then I see something totally different. It's so much to explore. Yeah,
and you've got Miller's Garden as well. There, it's a nice area.
Yeah, exactly, and the river, and it's nice. It feels like it's bubbling there in Tibet.
Yeah.
Speaking of that life in the mountains, has it kind of told you something special that you think you wouldn't have learned if you stayed in the more flat part of Sweden? Like your mindset, philosophy, the way you look at life?
Yeah, so something that Åre, the region, has created.
But early on you were saying like, I need to be at... you moved here because of the mountains, so there must be something sparky.
So of course, like nature here around is magic, and she's told me a lot. But
like for me, it's standing on top of a mountain that always gives me that sense of perspective, that the world looks different from being higher up. Like you can spend your whole life down in the streets and you'll never see what it looks like from high up there. And that kind of gives a certain outlook on life, I think.
But I think it's fun with the dynamic here as well. There's a lot of people coming and going, and it's a lot of it's a lot of things happening, and people are into being outside and exploring, and I think it's amazing that often when I meet people, we can meet outside in activity. That's
because most people move here to be outside, right? That's like the main trigger.
And also a lot of people have moved here from living in other places. So people are quite brave to move to a new place. Maybe they didn't know so many people in the start. So we all have this, not this route in Åre, but we've been creating our own routes here and open.
Did you move here alone actually at the start? Or would you?
I think I did.
Yeah.
But
so you didn't know many people here then?
No, I knew some people. Like I've been snowboarding and skiing for a long time.
Yeah, okay.
And I have a really amazing snowboarding community. So and then a lot of people moved here as well. So I knew people through snowboarding.
Yeah. And was there, or is there anything that you find hard? Like most people ask us always, how do you deal with the darkness? Because for people in the south, that is a whole mysterious thing. But is that something hard for you? Is there anything else that's like hard for you about living so far up north? Or?
It really is a switch when you go from summer to winter. Like it is every year. It's like, whoa, is this happening? I've like been just through it. I've always, all the years, I forget about how it is.
It's harsher, right? As well. The switch. Like, it's suddenly.
Yeah,
it's fast.
It's faster. It's harsher.
As it's been now. The last couple of days, it's been autumn a week ago, and now it's a lot of snow. And it's a bit tough in a way, but it's also beautiful to see the cycle of the year and the cycle of how the energy goes. And when we've had in the community, as I was talking about in the house, Granbo, we had people from other parts of the world, and they saw like the switch in us when the winter came. They like, oh, you guys are so, this is maybe why you're so creative and productive, because in the winter you plan a lot of things and you have this more inwards going inside and like having actually time to think a little bit further. But because I think like that in the summer as well, I'm just out all the time, never sitting down and like writing and like planning and visualizing. But in the winter, it's a time for that. So it's hard with the darkness because of you have more time
indoors, but also I think it's really cozy as well.
Yeah, it is.
It gives that music.
Yeah, and also it's so good with that with the darkness and with the cold, because you have to just face it. Yeah. It's like how should I do this? It's really cold outside. Okay, I just gotta dress up and like
face everything. Yeah.
And it's like cold therapy every day here.
We're such Vikings, all of us living here.
Yeah.
So it is, I think in general, society is turning more and more into convenience and making everything as nice and perfect as possible. So living here definitely gives sometimes you a kick in the face, and you need to face stuff like you say.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting part of living up here.
But you get so rewarded though.
You can get rewarded.
You conquer the cold or whatever it may be you have to conquer, the wind, the cold.
Yeah.
Then you get rewarded by the most beautiful views. And
you have to like, initiate things. You have to go out, you have to do stuff, and then that reward comes.
You have to be like committed and also plan things, because in the winter you can't just go out in any clothes, because something could happen. You have to really be like, okay, what is happening now? What do I have with me? And I sort of like that as well, because I feel like I'm a bit of a like old school extreme person who's like out, and I don't know the name of it, but it feels like I'm conquering something.
Yeah.
And I feel like achievements
Badass.
of doing it. Yeah, badass, exactly. Actually, just bought a car with someone has been writing on the back of it, or like it's stamped with klistermärke, badass edition, it says. So now I'm like full on badass.
There you go.
So fun.
Very good.
But I also like sometimes when the sun is not in the valley, but when it's up during the winter, for example, and you have to do the efforts to get on top of the mountain, and then you can get like a different perspective again and warmth and everything. So that's cool as well to live here.
Very true.
And for me personally, I would say the reflection of the snow does a lot because it brings everything up. If it would be dark here and no snow, I don't think I would live here, to be honest. But I guess that's would be the answer to most for most people, that they want to live here. Do you have any like personal goals you're working on, or missions you have that maybe somebody doesn't know about, or if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But
I think it would be really fun to start a course on some folkhögskola. You know, this more like alternative schools that is more practical. It would be amazing to start a course there.
We don't really know the difference, or what's how does that work?
We have got this amazing thing in Sweden called folkhögskola, which is a school where you learn more practical or alternative things. And you can still get CSN, like the money from the government.
It's a bit like the guiding outdoor course they do every year here,
exactly.
Right?
So here they got this guiding course, and also Bibelskola, the Bible school, and they got some art program.
And what would your course be about?
I don't know yet, but exciting. I really feel that I could put something amazing together that will combine inner and outer work. And I think I would be a good leader in that as well.
I can definitely see you do this, so maybe I come.
Yeah.
Is that an easy thing to make happen?
Nah. I don't know. Depends on everything. Has it's for me right now. It feels quite challenging because I just popped up the idea and I don't know where to start. But of course, when you start to work with it, I guess it will flow.
Maybe I should rephrase my question. But is the Swedish government or is that open to like whatever course you want to start?
I don't know. I'm gonna reach out to people and see who has done it before. Maybe someone can help me.
So if anybody hears this, get in touch.
Yeah, exactly. And I also this is like one of my my life projects I really want to do. There's like a heart question. I want to rent or buy a farm in some kind of way, and create a kindergarten combined with a old people house.
Oh wow, yeah. That's a really good idea.
Nice.
That's one thing that I'm gonna do, but I'm just waiting for the right time to come. Because right now it feels like quite hard, but I know that when things start to loosen up, or like when time is in, then it's gonna feel flowy and easy.
Okay.
But I'm manifesting this.
Nice. Reminds me of a project that in Belgium that happened not so long ago. They created a couple of new houses, but they decided that each house had a different age group living in there. So one house had to be for people who didn't work anymore, that were retired. So I guess 60, 70. One house had to be with a family with young kids. And then another house had to be something else. So that as soon as the people who were, having the kids and had to go out to work, the kids could maybe visit the next door people, and that become kind of like a natural community. I thought it was a really cool idea. I actually don't know how that's working out at this point, but I read about that. And it's kind of similar, I guess, in some way to what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah, I feel that that's something we miss in the world or in Sweden now.
In general, I guess the older people are kind of
put aside
out of society a little bit. Huh?
And I know that kids can be so healing and so such good teachers for everyone, and especially like bringing life to people that are old, and they are really wise, so they can teach the kids
unfiltered love.
Yeah.
And time as well, and patience. So
and
they
patience.
are. Yeah. We read about some other cultures that it's basically the grandparents raising the kids, and the parents, they have another function in that society. And now in our society, it's more, we have to do everything as parents. You raise your kids and you go to work and you set your goal and you do so many things, while the grandparents kind of are left out. So I really like that idea. That's cool.
I think we've also noticed with our own grandparents that they were easier giving love to their grandchildren often than to their own children, right? Because they became older and different perspective on life, and it was it's not easy to parent. Like it's balancing and juggling with a lot of different things on your plate. And when you're older, you can breathe again, and you can look at everything with a bit more kindness, maybe, and ease.
Less stress in your life, maybe. As well.
That's very true.
And animals, I guess, could also function in that. Like,
we got so many possible like healers around us, and parts that are quite easy to put together. Like, for example, bringing animals there, that can be so joyful for both kids and for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that I'm gonna do. I will see if it becomes in Åre. I hope so.
Yeah, you see yourself living here for a long time? Yeah. This is your
this place. Is a base. Yeah.
Your base.
Wow.
Nice.
I might have more bases, but one base geographically.
Yeah. Nice.
And hypothetically, let's say that time and money are no issue at all. Is there any dream that you would go for in that sense? Like a crazy dream that you're like, that people would say, but this and but that.
Yeah. I think would be something with the co-creative environment, bringing people together. Maybe there as well, like just as we've done in Hembygdsgården, like have a place where people can come together and try their dreams.
Yeah.
So I would like to have a dream constellation space where people can come in and like, this is my dream, and I can be like, I have the resources for you. I can help you with creating your dream. And then they get to try it and get to test it on the people who are there and invite other people. And because we have so many good ideas, and I know so many that has their inner, like have things that they want to do, but maybe, it's far away to do it. But it feels so good to do something that you love and that you've been thinking of. And I see that people will grow if they try. And I would love to help people and also do my dreams.
Yeah. It's so kind that your dream is to help other people dream.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
That's really nice.
So that would be cool to have a playground for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe something random, but is there anything you would recommend anybody else to do or experience here in Åre? In this?
Yeah, of course you should come to Hembygdsgården and create this flatbread, which is an amazing tradition that we've had for hundreds of years here in Sweden. And it's such a beautiful craft to do it, all the way from the dough to like the process of making the bread and throwing it into the fire and take it out. And
can people always come, or I guess not at this time?
Yeah, no, but it's you just have to bring wood.
So it's kind of open.
It's open in the winter as well. Yeah.
But I guess they need some instructions, so they need to contact you somehow.
They need to contact me or someone else from the
And
förening.
where do they contact you?
Probably on Hembygdsgården's Instagram. Åre Hembygdsgård.
Yeah. Åre Hembygdsgård.
Åre Hembygdsgård. So that I would really recommend. And have a cold dip and go outside of the trails.
Yeah.
Even though the trails are amazing as well, but go a little bit outside and explore the nature and look at the old trees. I'm so grateful that we still have this old like gamskog here, the old forest.
Where are they? That's interesting.
Fjällnära miljöer. So all the environments that are on the mountain, you're not allowed to cut down. So they have been, thanks to that, we can rescue the old forest here around.
So don't only look down at the snow, but also look
from
up.
This Indals, from ån, from the river and up against the mountain.
Okay, yeah.
This old
But
forest.
I was envisioning these big old trees that I somehow missed by living here 3 years.
The cool thing is that...
Are there any of those? Or I feel in general it's these, what's it called?
Pine trees?
Pine trees, yeah. But are there other... Or
There's
that's what you
so
mean?
many old trees here. But the cool thing here is that the oldest trees are the smallest ones. They are like just really shrimped together. And maybe the root system is really big instead.
Mm-hmm.
We got one tree up on Åreskutan that is, I don't know how many years, but it's crazy old, and it's very small and like looks like an old lady and like shrimped down. But it's been going, it's amazing how old it is, and it's been just...
Where is that?
I think it's on the cliffs close to, like in between Venplatån and Hummern. I don't really know.
And it's a single tree there?
It's a single tree next to, like, in the end.
We'll make it a mission
to find it. Yeah, I definitely want to find it.
Yeah, I wish I knew the name of it now, but you can Google that.
Nice.
To wrap our conversation up,
yep,
we have some rapid fire fun. Skiing or snowboarding?
Snowboarding.
Morning person or evening person?
Morning.
Sauna or hot tub?
Oof, sauna.
Ooh. Hiking or biking?
Hiking.
Hiking. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Wow.